true. Yeah. Yes. And she's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Probably like one of the most beautiful of all time.
This is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests.
Buhay-buhay sa Amerika.
Ang buhay, buhay, buhay sa Amerika. Mabubuhay ka sa Amerika kahit mahirap ka ha. Basta't kasama mo, kababayan mo, maligaya ka na dito sa Amerika. Sa buhay-buhay sa Amerika.
Uy mga kababayan, kapuso at kapamilya, oras na para magsama-sama tayo para sa isang oras na kwentuhan na magbibigay ng aral at inspirasyon. Dito lang sa ating programang Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika ni Rhia Luz.
Dr. Campbell, why we should support Ryan Winkle and Representative Junelle Cavero?
That's a very important question. Like any other candidates, I know these two very intimately, and they are most knowledgeable about the functions of the responsibility of the offices that they are running. And I know that they will serve honestly, and they will not be so ideological in their performance, but they will do what is good for the people in general, and that they are honest, and they are at this stage very capable of doing the job that they are doing. So outside of the fact that they are raised by Filipino Americans, they are above all true Americans that will serve this country as best as they can, because both of them love this country above all. I think that would be.
Hola mga kababayan, this is Rhia Luz of Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika, and we are live at Entre Mujeres Radio. On today's episode, as you can see, we are so lucky to be surrounded by the Filipino American political leaders rising. This is an episode you should not miss. Today's episode, I am going to be co-hosted by an amazing celebrity himself, Mr. Ramiro Russell. Ramiro, please greet our audience.
How are we doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm just so excited and happy to be here, and hope you learned something and find out about our guest today.
Yes, and this is an ideal, and we are so excited to gather all these amazing political leaders in Arizona. It's a dream come true, because Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika has been always promoting, if any of the Filipino American runs to represent us, we will support. And this is that timing. And thank you so much, Mayor Ryan Winkle, for telling us to bring this on the show. And our Mayor Ryan, I call you already Mayor.
This is what we have
you
to
gotta
do.
say
Yes, Mayor Ryan Winkle for Mesa has not only invited, he did not want just by himself. He invited our Judge Jennifer Sama of El Centro Precinct. She's our Justice of the Peace.
Yes. Thank
Say
you.
hello.
I'm very grateful. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm grateful to be here.
And also, Ramiro,
Yes.
our Mayor Ryan Winkle even invited our honorable representative of Arizona State House, Arizona House Representative.
There you go.
Yes, it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
Our honorable representative Junelle Cavero to join us.
I'm very happy to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation and to stand beside my colleagues. It's very exciting, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And happy birthday.
Yes, a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Really?
birthday.
Upcoming.
She's 34 today, I think.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Oh, there you go.
So
Right
young. And also Ramiro just celebrated
had a
his
birthday
birthday.
too, yeah.
I
Yes.
think.
No, 55.
Wow.
I'm proud of that.
So we
Happy
got
belated.
Thank
two
you.
amazing happy birthday, Representative Junelle Cavero of District 11 of Phoenix.
Now, didn't
Look
you
at
have
that.
one a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
We celebrate your birthday early at BUHAY-BUHAY SA Amerika. So I know that our judge Jennifer has to leave early. So if you won't mind, we will be asking question first to the one who has to leave because she has previous commitment. And thank you for giving us your time, honorable judge.
Well, thank you. As I stated already, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Ramiro, you want to ask the question first?
So I know we spoke off camera, but I just want to know what inspired you to get into politics. What was the inspiration behind that?
Okay, so I'm just going to start from my heart.
Yes, please.
Growing up in Maryville, graduating from Maryville High School, going to public schools, I always knew because I learned adversity and saw the diversity in the community, and I knew I wanted to do something that I could help people and help the community. I had no idea this position was even possible for someone like me. My dad.
How so?
I had no idea what a justice of the peace
Okay.
was.
Now
right?
you can
just
tell
like
us.
a lot of people, they don't.
They don't know.
My dad was appointed,
Okay.
and I was just inspired of what you are able to do for the community and for the people of the community, the people that we represent in the community, the people that I grew up with, or that I seen go through things, and how
Yes.
justice system may has been. And it's just amazing to be able to make a difference. So
Nice.
that's my inspiration.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, thank
Yes,
you for that. I
of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Making a difference.
Yes.
Just like all these amazing Filipino American leaders
Yes.
now.
Yes.
That's why you are keep on rising.
Keep on rising.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
So since we're continuing to ask you question, any difficulty during the time you were campaigning or that
It was-
you have experienced?
Well, because my dad, he was appointed and then ran 2 campaigns. They knew exactly what to do. So it was my mother was his campaign manager. My mom was my campaign manager.
Okay.
It was just a family thing. We were out there walking, and knocking on doors, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because I knew what was possible after that. And the thing with the justice of the peace is, I know we're not supposed to be political.
Okay.
So we can't endorse
Yeah.
candidates. We can't do any of that as a judge.
Yes.
Although we are elected officials. But I just found it exciting to just get out there and meet my constituents and everybody in the neighborhood. So it wasn't as challenging because I knew what
You know what to expect.
Yes.
Yes.
I've already experienced it. I helped my dad do the same thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
So let me ask you, how did the community receive you? I'm sure they were quite pleased.
Yes. Well, I hope so. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
What is amazing with the Maricopa County Justice Courts, and I'll just go back again, my dad, there were only 2 women justices
I was coming to
out
that.
of Justice of the Peace out of 26 courts. Wow. Now there are 12 women.
Good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. And so it's just, I can't even describe the feeling that I have. It was very difficult, obviously, my first year, learning everything, being in front, you're on the bench. And,
Yes.
And even I was intimidated, and I could imagine how the people in front of me were. And I always explain, don't don't be afraid. Like, I am not, you're here, everybody makes mistakes,
Yes.
and we'll, get done. And I just try to encourage people to not make that mistake again. We want to keep our community safe.
Yes, we do.
You are so humble, Judge. From the first time I met you, you mentioned about Maryville. I
Yes.
know that Maryville is one of the most hard place
Yes.
to live in
Yes.
Arizona. Any advice to our young people who are wanting to go to politics? What?
Again, as I stated before, like, I had no idea that this position was even possible. I went to Maryville, and I'm sure I know we've all heard this story. I don't know if any of you have been through it, but, I was a top 10, 15% of my class. I was on the palm line. I was very involved. I was a good student, and I go to my counselor, and I already knew. I'm the baby of the family, but I knew I wanted to make a difference. I actually
Yes.
wanted to go to medical school.
There you go.
I did.
Just
There
like
you go.
Ramiro's
But
medical
I went to my
school.
counselor, and she said, well, I don't know. I don't even remember her looking up my transcript or anything. She said, I think it would be better for you just to go to community college like everybody else. And that was just like, okay, no. I already knew that I wanted to do more.
How did you take that?
Very disheartening. And I wasn't discouraged because I went home and told my mom, and my mom said, okay, let's go. And I was the first, like, as I said, I am the baby of the family, but I was the first to go to university. I always knew I wanted to. My mom didn't know. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yes.
But we did it. And as I stated, when we were talking, one of my main goals, now that I am in this position and after my first year, which I said was very difficult, I want to go to schools in the community so young kids know this is possible and that
Yes.
they can do this and
Yes.
anything is possible. You can be whatever you want to be, because I just want to inspire so many kids in the community
Yes.
to just know what is really possible. I still remember my kindergarten teacher, Miss Chavez at Mitchell. Yes, and for some reason she inspired me. She was a Latina woman.
Okay.
But from then on, I was like, I want to be a teacher. Like, she's amazing, Things changed after that, but I want to inspire young girls or young children just like she inspired me.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yes.
That is an inspiring message.
It is.
And many are even not aware what is
Right.
the justice of the peace really
Right.
does. Would you be able to tell us
of course.
what you do?
So I say, like, we're a court of the community, right? So
I like that.
we deal with civil cases, smaller civil cases, small claims. We do criminal, civil traffic, not criminal traffic. So misdemeanors 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Nothing higher than that.
Okay.
That goes to Superior Court, and then unfortunately we have to do evictions.
Yeah,
It's tough.
unfortunately.
It's
that's a
very
tough
tough, but we try to help. Honestly, especially I love my colleagues. We try to help everybody any way we can with anything, because like you said, I come from Maryville. I know the community. Even being in the El Centro now Justice Precinct, I know the community, and it's a wonderful feeling to be able to make a decision. Obviously, I follow the law. You have to follow the law, but
Yes.
if somebody is not working or if somebody has children and they're, I can help. I can, lower the fine, or I can do certain things, maybe
Oh, you have
community
certain,
That is so
you have certain
nice.
powers you can
Yes.
do. Oh, okay.
So we try to help the community, obviously, and do what we can to make. Obviously, not everybody's going to leave a court happy.
Yeah, of course.
We do what we can. Yes.
Okay.
Well, we really are so blessed that you gave us the time. I know you're not running this election, and not until 2026.
Yes.
So we have another chance to have you back.
Yes.
To get more information about you.
Of course, anytime.
But I know that you and this amazing political leaders are all friends. Do you have anything you wanted to tell them as they are the one running this year?
As I stated before, I cannot be political.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want it in trouble. I do have a judicial code of ethics that I must follow. But yes, just I do appreciate my fellow Filipinos and Filipinas.
Yes.
It is an amazing thing. Like my grandfather was a Manang, one of the first generation Filipinos to come to this country, and so I know he's watching down, and I know how happy he is for all of us.
Yes.
All of us.
You mentioned Manong, meaning he's also a farm worker, right?
Yes. He traveled from California to Arizona, New Mexico, Idaho. So wherever there was work, my tata was there.
Nice.
Yes. So
I know the people listening. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead. Oh.
I just want to mention, because you talk about Manong, and there's one person who always stand for our Manong in Arizona, and I have to mention Lani Relamas Patubo, who actually is one of the reasons why I learned about the Manong's history, and also today's episode, Lani wanted to come, but his work called him, but instead, Lani even sent support to make this show possible. So thank you so much, Lani. We don't have a sponsor, but Lani always sponsors the show. So we can keep going.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, he's always so supportive.
Yes. So we mentioned Lani. She says, I'm going to listen while I'm on my break.
Awesome.
So we love you, Lani.
I know the listeners can't really feel the passion in your voice, but as I'm in your presence, I can just hear the love in your heart, and I can see you recall stories and people who come in your courtroom. So I truly appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That really means a lot, because I am very passionate about what I do, and just being able to help my people and help the people of the community. I love it. And I really thank you guys for having me. This is the first time I've ever done a podcast or even an interview.
Well,
you do very well.
You did well.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're appreciate it. We're watching that judge who's the judge of the people, who always have the heart for the people.
Yes.
You remind me of him.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have to go back to your commitment today, and we appreciate your time joining us on this very hot summer.
Yes.
119 degrees Fahrenheit today. And
Wonder.
I'll be listening on my ride home.
all right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Honorable Judge
Thank you, guys.
Jennifer
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, Junelle.
Hernandez
Bye.
Sama.
And
Judge, great to see you.
great to see you too. And
Thank
good luck.
you so much.
Bye.
God bless
Thank you so much.
Thank
No,
you.
God bless you.
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
too.
I'm very grateful and honored.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. This is fantastic. We got her to come, even though despite her very busy schedule. We thank
Sorry.
you, Honorable Judge Jennifer Hernandez Sama.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
El
you.
Centro.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
El
Central
Court.
Justice Court.
Yes.
Now, since
Thank
we
you,
have
thank you.
our Representative Junelle Cavero all the way, she's in California at this time, joining us on Zoom. So we have to give also her time, honor her time while she's with us. So let's welcome our Representative, Honorable Representative Junelle Cavero back on the show. Hello.
Hi, host. Great to see you. And I'm happy, whichever is easier, happy to have a dialogue with our mayor to be Ryan Winkle. So whichever you prefer.
Oh, that's great.
Happy to have a conversation or whatever way a dialogue to make it easier for you. And
Oh, good. So at least you're not leaving us.
Not leaving you. Not right now.
Not right now.
Right now.
So at least we can. Is it okay to do the conversation to
Sure,
both of you?
sure, yeah,
I think
sounds good.
that would be wonderful. People want to hear Ryan speak.
They do.
Mayor
All
Ryan
the time,
speak.
yeah.
Ryan and I can tag team, so it's
Yeah.
not a problem. We're used to this. Let's
Yeah.
bring it on.
Yes.
Give it to Rhia. Go whatever questions you got.
Yeah,
And
we'll start with a question. What inspired you
Yes.
to run for mayor of Mesa and as the Arizona representative, House representative? Anyone can.
Anyone can go.
Go ahead, Jenna. You go first.
Go ahead,
Representative.
Ryan. I'll let you.
Ladies first.
Yes, ladies first.
He's a gentleman.
So for me, I grew up in a Catholic household, union household. My father was a letter carrier and was also a veteran. And so at a very early age, I was already exposed to just, volunteering, normal, going to food shelters, helping out with the community. So the concept of helping, like what Judge Sama said, was just kind of natural, helping the community. And it just naturally turned into helping those who fought for the same ideals. And over the time, also growing up, hearing the injustices that my father and my mother had faced, both, even though he was a veteran, being easily racial profiled on certain issues in the 80s and the 90s were just, natural challenges as a child. Watching your parents dealing with those was just, it kind of gives you that fire to fight for, a better system for justice. And so also with my mother, who, she was a dentist in the Philippines and then had to go through the whole process of, redoing and getting her boards. And my father trying to make sure that, we had food on the table and a, house over our heads and just trying to fight and just really get through and fight for that American dream. And so going into politics, or that concept of politics, I thought it was helping those. So for 25 and 30 years, I have been helping, candidates all over the country, get elected. So from the first, I helped Rob Bonta, our Attorney General in California, run his first assembly race, to, numbers of other Filipino candidates around the country, trying to just, get that chance, be it in New York and Florida. And so when it came to my turn in running in 22, it was an opportunity to fight again, because, in Arizona, we're constantly from SB 1070, fighting racial profiling, getting rid of, certain candidates like Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I mean, it's a constant battle to really just fight for that American dream and be a constant voice for working families. And so for me, I live in South Mountain, which is South Phoenix, Laveen and Guadalupe, and over 80% of my district is minorities, and so constantly trying to fight for racial injustices and environmental injustice because of where we live is a constant battle. And so when it came to my turn and the opportunity, I have two kids who are 10 and 9, it was only natural to show them, that this is, you want to fight, you have to go out and do the right thing and support good candidate. And sometimes you have to put yourself in the hot seat.
Yeah.
And so that's, the inspiration was my parents would instill those values into me, those democratic values and fighting for democracy. But what wakes me up in the morning are my kids. They're so young, and making sure that they have the same opportunities as me and everyone else is truly important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a winning message.
Winning.
Yes. How about Mayor Ryan Winkle?
For me, when I think back and I think about my mom and my grandma and my dad and all these people, right? I think Filipinos are no stranger to fighting for justice for people. And when you think about barangay, the community, right?
Yes.
And what it means to be your fellow countrymen, all these things. My grandmother lived through World War II, and her city was invaded, and her father basically said, if you touch anybody in here, I'm not going to help your troops. He was a doctor. And so he essentially, with my grandmother and her sisters and brothers, took care of all the people and the military there. My mom, growing up, when she came here, faced a lot of challenges as well. Sorry, I'll look at the camera. And the challenges she faced were around being the only Asian in the area she was in. And so in the World War II times, that was not a good thing. They thought, every Asian was Japanese. And so, they were very mad about this where she was, and her only friend was a black woman at that time. So it was the N-word and the J-word, the two bad words of the time. And then so me growing up, I learned that through her help of other people and elderly folks, and my father being a veteran and her dad being a veteran, there was just this culture of always saying, look, fight for the underdog, do what's right for the people. Everyone wants to come home to a safe neighborhood. Everyone wants to put their kid in a nice school that they can get a good education and make something of themselves. Everyone wants the opportunity to get a good job, and nobody wants to have to really worry. They want to live. They just want to live. That's it, and make it. And so I think that's why when I started my nonprofit and started working with communities, I just thought, it's just help people, just help the people,
just
right?
help people.
I mean, back to that same old idea in the revolution in the Philippines of the people power. It's the same thing in the United States, of power to the people. This is not new. This is just reoccurring, just over and over, right?
Okay, nice.
Ramiro, I am really moved by these two amazing political leaders, knowing the children's age are 10, 9, and Ryancito is 7,
8 now.
8,
Yeah.
and Camilita is 5.
Wow.
Hearing that their kids are this young and they still wanted to serve, only how much that fuel in them to bring the next generation of leaders will really come through this.
I'm hearing a commonality, like struggle
Yes.
is what inspires a lot of you. Like I'm hearing the stories like I grew up and I saw my mom do this, or you saw your father do this. I'm hearing struggle inspired all of you.
I have a comment about that too. So the struggle isn't even that it's like, we were a poor family and this happened.
Yes.
It's really just the everyday struggle of being alive in a world where it's hard to pay for food on a usual basis, right? And it's interesting that you had these three communities here. So Maryvale, South Phoenix, and West Mesa.
Exactly.
Those are by the census tracts, the lowest income areas in the entire county, those three places.
Wow.
So interesting that the three Filipino candidates that you have, Filipino American candidates that you have, are from or represent those areas.
Wow.
That's why you need.
That's why you're here.
They need to be. They need to win.
Yes.
Because they are the representative of the people.
Yes,
Yes.
that is true. So when people see you in the community, how do they receive you? They go, wow, he looks like me, or she looks like me. Like, wow. How do they receive you?
Go ahead.
I know.
Representative.
I mean, it's interesting when you say community, like when I'm knocking on doors.
Yes.
Specifically, first it's, okay, here's this woman coming to my door. The second thing is, like, they didn't expect that someone is Spanish speaking, but kind of looks Asian.
Yeah.
Can't really put a pin on it. What is she? But she's telling me that she represents me.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that she's fighting for, better causes for me every day. Then there's a relation right there.
There
right?
you
And
go.
so it's relating and explaining your story, and more importantly, listening to theirs. Being able to take their issue and their concern and fight for it better, and not later, like right now. And that's another commonality that I noticed on this show, is that all of us are serving local positions.
Yes.
These are the people who are fighting and being able to make the difference on a daily basis. We're constantly fighting on a daily basis for what we're doing. It's not, we're not running for president or, a federal position. We're here trying to make it happen. And so when you're saying, what's the response when we come to the door, they're, first of all, eager that somebody even comes to their
Okay.
True.
Okay, like, let's be clear. Like, it's hot. It's
hot.
like 119 degrees. When I tell people outside Arizona, they're like, how's canvassing? How's hitting doors? I'm like, look, we strap on some water, we make it happen. Like, there's a whole process, and we have to hit doors for, a couple hours at a time.
Yes.
everybody's so welcoming. I'm sure Ryan has the same. When we go to the door, sometimes people are offering us water, offering us to come in to cool off while we're talking to them, and then and getting into these deep conversations. And so it actually gives us even more fire and more ammunition, because I know exactly what I'm fighting for every single day. And so
That's true.
That's beautiful.
That's an interesting thing that you say that, because at the doors too, when I first ran, I was like, man, I got to hit all these doors. I got to do all these things. And then you realize when you get there how much energy these folks that you meet give you. Yeah. And so you're really getting into these personal relationships, which goes back to the local piece of this is relationships,
Yes.
And the thing that you meet at each door is, hey, now I know Jose, or I met Jim, or I met Sally,
Yes.
whatever you met, and they legitimately know you now, and they will call you and be like, Representative, remember you gave me your number? Like, and have all these questions.
Especially you gave me the
Especially
number
you. This
right
is
there.
home.
I give it all the time. I mean, I've actually, the first race I did that, I didn't get as many calls, but I've actually been getting a lot of calls this time, which is great, and I appreciate it. The other piece of the door knocking is that is almost like it's your job, okay? As an elected official, it's your job. It's your job to and in the First Amendment, the public has the right to redress you and talk to you about their issues, okay?
Yes.
But it's also a political thing. So there's numbers in politics. There's a job in politics.
Yes.
It's to get elected, right? And in that election, you have to say, what is my number of people I have to talk to? So while Junelle's getting invited in and saying, hey, come have some water, come talk to me, she's also thinking, man, my goal for the day is to talk to 130 people. Or, you know what I mean? So now she's balancing the time, and there's all these like complications in the way politics works versus what really happens with people and what happens in their outcomes.
Yes.
But the moment that they talk to you, they will never forget that.
Right. Yes.
And how you make them feel and how you talk to them, they'll keep talking to about you to their friends and their relatives. So basically, it will make up for the time.
Right.
I'm glad you said that, because they say people will never remember what you
Yes.
tell them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
And that is why I met Ryan a long time ago. In fact, Ryan was one of the very first supporter of BUHAY-BUHAY SA Amerika. When I started the show, Ryan, you were one. You were my co-host, and Ryan is so supportive of BUHAY-BUHAY SA Amerika and telling all his friends about it. That's why when Ryan is running, I supported Ryan, and now I support Ryan 100%
Same.
to make sure, to make sure that our representative will be winning and be there for the people, because they truly deserve to
They
win.
truly do.
Yes. And
Let me ask a question. I'm sorry.
go.
I'm so sorry. I'm never coming back. I'm back co-host.
No, I love Ramiro.
Let me ask both of you this question. I know you guys knocked door
right
to
there,
door.
Ryan.
Have you utilized any social media platforms? Meaning, because where this is coming from is, I'm big on social media, and every time I see you post something, I'm always sharing it, because resharing something is free. So have you utilized social media to help your campaign at all?
So for me, it's
Yes.
really funny. As someone who is a political consultant and runs the largest multicultural digital media company in the country, social media is the way in today's platform to communicate to folks. It isn't linear TV. It's really talking to folks and reaching them on different platforms, on connected TV, on social media forms, Facebook and everything else. And it's really the way to reach better voters. And although my campaign will post a couple of things, I'm not as good as what I've been doing for everyone else.
Absolutely.
And that comes down to like, how much time in the day do I have to post everything in allotted time? And it's a challenge. It's like a job in itself, is being someone who could be on social media.
It is.
So the campaign, it's really important, but it's also, and it's the best way to reach voters, but it's super hard to balance. I'm sure Ryan can probably contribute.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember 2016.
Right there.
Oh, look at that.
My daughter, Camila, putting out signs with me. In 2016, social media reached a peak of its kind of like, I want to call it like Wild West days, where you could almost do anything, get away with anything, put money behind anything and blow it up. And that's really where you saw a lot of the presidential candidates at that time take advantage of that.
They did.
Now, social media is, I feel like it's different. You can still throw a lot of money behind ads, but the playing field is kind of leveled out where you don't have those like little side tricks aren't there as much anymore. So the tricks that I'm finding are working are like what you said. I'm partnering with someone like you, or like Willie North Pole, or like Hannah Cho, or any of these other Steph Did It. These different folks who have large micro environments that essentially there's another 1,000 people that know you. There's another 20K over here that know you. The BUHAY-BUHAY SA AMERIKA. They have there's another 1 million people that are looking at you.
That's true.
So
Thank you, sir.
I think it's a little different now.
It is different.
And
Back on Ryan, like social media, he was right. In 2016, it was totally manipulated.
Yes.
And then in 2020, it just gets worse. And now you have a cycle where AI has taken it to a whole nother level. You can throw Ryan and I's head on some ad and create something new that is completely inaccurate. And that's what we're fighting, is that misinformation on social media. And so it can be used in a positive way and also can be used in a negative way. And so it's going to be a challenge this cycle.
That's funny you mentioned that about AI and deep fake, because now platforms are having a box checked saying if this was this created by AI, you have to say yes or no. And they really flag you now, because YouTube, they just added that. Like, was this made by AI? Is it fake? Instagram tags people too now.
I've noticed that too, because people have asked me, "Hey, can you send me like your positions?" And I'll look at what other people also submitted, and I'm like, "That was written by ChatGPT." That was, and I'm sitting here trying to actually write mine out, old school, what I think,
And you're talking about social media. I found the best social media and influencer recording.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask Javier to showcase Ramiro Russell, the beautiful wife of Ramiro, who I actually interviewed for Ryan Winkle, just to give a.
I haven't even seen this.
I haven't seen it. This is a surprise for me.
Let's show that.
Hi, Yasmin.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Why people should vote for Ryan Winkle?
I mean, the list is endless, but I can give you the short one. Because he simply cares about what's happening in Mesa and how he can cultivate a better culture, diversity, and not only that, he wants to help any local businesses, community to grow. I mean, as you can tell, everything that he's done so far, from being part of the Arizona Asian Chambers, he's doing the Real CDC, which he left, and he did a lot with Abaca Foundation for the cultural aspect. I mean, opportunities are endless with Ryan. He's full of resources. He want to teach you how to garden and cultivate your own backyard, how you can grow your own food. That is the person. And he's full of love. His whole family supports him, and we're just a friend happy that he is running for mayor from Mesa. If you need to know more about Ryan Winkle, you can call him directly, or you can simply go to his website, www.winkle, W-I-N-K-L-E, for Mesa.com, and there would be all the details that you need to know about Ryan Winkle. It is so transparent. He is someone who is not going to BS you about what you need for your future in your community. So spend your time and get to know Ryan Winkle. And then you might want to start getting your voting, because preliminary is coming up in July. So the last time for you to get your ballot would be the end of June. So it'll be quicker for you to do that. And that way you can participate for the preliminary for the voting in July 30th. And we hope to see you all there, whether you are supporting Ryan Winkle, getting to know him, or just simply being there wanting to make a difference. So he's the guy in the neighborhood. That's Ryan.
The guy in the neighborhood.
The guy in the neighborhood.
That's even better than Mr. Roger.
Wow.
That's a
Mayor
good one.
Ryan.
Good one.
Wow.
Yes, that's one. And also, I got 3 ladies, amazing ladies, to mention about that. So, Javier, can you be able to play that one?
Happy Independence Day, Philippines. It's just a coincidence that we have a candidate for mayor for Mesa who is a Filipino. and a candidate for the district in Lambin who's also Filipino, pure Filipino. And we are proud that at least we have a representative in the election. And, I know that Ryan Winkle, the candidate for the city of Mesa for mayor, is a people person. So wherever he's asked to do something, he is there to help. So that is the kind of person he is. So he will be a very good mayor if he will get elected, and we will be behind him 100%.
That's
and also
right.
Nice.
See?
I didn't know you got all these things.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
look
got
at
that when we supported you on the phone call.
Yeah.
That's how the community works. Our community, in the Filipino community, we support one another. I don't know, Javier, I also have a tita in Daiho mentioning about our representative Junelle. Do you have that on the video?
I bet you didn't know you were going to see all these things.
Oh,
I'm supporting Ryan Winkle because I've known him for many, many years, and I know he'll make Mesa a better place to live. His ideas are unique, and I think he'll make it better for the neighborhoods and the businesses. People diagnosed him.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chambui. I'm a friend of Ryan Winkle. I support Ryan Winkle for Mesa Mayor because, number one, he is very honest. Number two, he represents the people and just everyday folks trying to get by and trying to improve their lives with small business that I have. I have a small business, language connector, and that's how I met him. I'm an interpreter and translator by profession. And lastly, but not as just as important, is that I believe we need to have someone that represents us. Us being the minority, whether it be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, or just any minority, because we really need someone that really understands minority folks in the city of Mesa. Thank you so much. Ryan Winkle for Mesa Mayor.
all
And
right.
why we should support Ryan Winkle and Representative Junelle Cavero. In the first place, she is a Filipina. And of course, if you're a Filipina, I will support her fully. And also, I think my family will be joining me on this fundraising this July 25. So, we can community building. And I will try to tell my friends to support her also. And I am sure they will be there during this time, during their campaign.
All right.
I hope she will work.
All right. See,
Right,
she already
Representative
mentioned
Cavero
about
already has fans everywhere.
yeah, right there. Winkle for Mesa. Thank you so much. Donate today and sign support. Thank you, Javier. And Representative Junelle Cavero, she also mentioned about your upcoming birthday fundraising. So we heard about this from Dr. James Campbell. Would you invite our community for June 25?
Well, it would be wonderful. So for folks who don't know, our session at the legislature just ended on Saturday. And so we weren't able to collect any money until Saturday. And so in about 2 weeks, our ballots drop on July 3rd and our campaign ends, or our primary ends, in 6 weeks. And so I know Ryan and I are mad dash into raising funds and getting everybody and hitting doors. And I have a birthday fundraiser on Tuesday at Be Kind, which I hope everybody can join. It's from 3 to 4:30, and it's a time to get to know everyone to hear a little bit about myself and learn more. But I would appreciate everyone's support, as it's a mad dash. And so, the biggest challenge during a campaign, which I've seen both as a candidate and as someone who's a sitting representative, is that we never have enough time. We don't have enough time and not enough finances in such a short window to pull something off. And so, to build those resources would be truly appreciative. And I hope, at the end of the day, my biggest ask is not just to give a contribution, but more importantly, to help organize the community and engage everyone to understand what's going on at the legislature. That, this year, Arizona statewide is going to be voting on a huge racial profiling bill, which is HCR 2060, and everything that's going on. We just passed a budget that was not so great. And so, there's just so much. And I hope the Filipino community is getting more educated and engaged in what's going on at the state capitol.
Thank you so much. That brings our question of, basically they have already answered what challenges you're facing. And that's why we really need to come together as the community to really support this two amazing candidates that we have. Ryan, you mentioned about we need to get some percentage of the vote so you don't have to run in November.
Right.
Would you mention about that?
So the primary ballots will come out on July 3rd. So they're sent out, right? So they'll start hitting doors at, I don't know, the 5th probably. And most people in Arizona will vote by mail, probably 80% within that first 2 weeks. And then by July 30th, which is when you can show up and like throw your ballot in. I was actually talking to my grandmother the other day. She's 97, and she said when we used to go vote, it was like a giant social happening. It was like people were everywhere and food and parties. And she's like, here we just go drop it off and leave. I just thought of that story. Sorry, but anyways, so July 30 is when you have to go drop off your vote. It's very possible. If we have enough votes, which is 50% plus one, 50% of the vote plus one, that we could win in the primary. And we really want to push that because you save a lot of money and a lot of time. Like Junelle said, we never have enough time and we never have enough resources to even make this happen in like a non-stressful way.
That's true. So if everybody vote sooner, more ballot, more votes for you,
correct,
then you don't have. Does that mean you won already?
So, like I said, it's 50% of the vote plus one more. So it's, if there's only two candidates, let's say, then you already win that way. If it's three candidates, you win that way. So that's, I guess, I don't know how to explain it better. Maybe you can represent it.
Where are you in the standings? Do you know?
We did a text poll of name recognition. I think I mentioned this before, but I had the same recognition as my top competitor across the city, which is great.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean that they're going to go and check that box on that day. So that's one of the pieces of politics that Junelle I think was talking about as well, is that everything has numbers attached to it, and what's the mathematical equation that says this will happen or that will happen, right? And that's why when you see people asking for money all the time and saying knock doors or text for me, if I'm trying to reach 100,000 people, how many people does that take to call those people? How many people does it have to knock those doors? How many people does it take to write letters? How many social media posts?
How many posts
and dollars does it take to get that out to 100,000 people? And actually, probably 200 because then only 100,000 will see it. Yeah.
And that is why it's very important. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
That's the top. The top
is
word of mouth.
And we got Ramiro here, who's millions of followers.
The biggest mouth. And
biggest mouth.
The best way is to really tell your neighbors, tell your friends who live in Mesa, who lives in Labin. In fact, on the way here, I already spoke to my friends in Labin to have you as a meet and greet in their home, Representative Cavero, and they said yes, they will invite you. So hopefully you will be available.
That's so kind, and that's exactly what I was talking about. It's engaging the community and being. I'm happy to meet anyone if they're organizing an event to get to know them more, and especially those who live in my district in Levine and Guadalupe and South Mountain, which goes all the way up to, if you don't know, till Van Buren and to the Mount. And as far west as all of Levine, and then Guadalupe, which is right on the border of Tempe. And so, I'm happy, and I appreciate you, sharing a little bit about me to your friends in Levine, and I hope to get to meet them sometime soon.
Yes, they are. There's a big Filipino community in Labin. The Sioson, the Casildo, the Clarissa. It's a big party when they come and invite you. So would love to have you come meet them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, and that's the same as Ryan. There is an upcoming feast coming this, is it
The 27th.
the 27th?
Yep,
Can you invite
27th
them?
at Dr. Campbell's house. It's right after yours, Representative Cavero, and we will be
Big party.
at his house. And people are all about it. If you just go to the either any of the social media, which is Ryan D. Winkle, on any of them, or winkleformesa.com, winkleformayor.com, any of those, you'll find it, and feel free to come.
Yes. It's important that we be involved as Filipinos, especially for helping our Representative Junelle Cavero and our Mayor Ryan Winkle. It would be a huge help if every Filipino in Arizona will spoke about them.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah, those personal stories, I think, are one of the most powerful things at work. I mean, I've worked alongside of Representative Cavero on a lot of different things. I could give you a lot of awesome stories about her, and that is actually what, when I'm out in that area or talking to somebody about her, I can say, you know what, there was this time, and blah, 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 and all these things, and they're like, wow, that is cool. I didn't know that about her. And I'm like, yeah, it's true.
Yes.
And she has the two most gorgeous little kids, and they follow her everywhere. And I mean, even like me, and
Just
part
like
of, I think,
yours.
part of being Filipino is that, like, you're not going to get a babysitter.
No.
They're just coming, and they're going to be running around the room and doing things, and we're those annoying people that bring the kids,
100%. Everybody knows me with my kids. So yes, very much so.
But that's wonderful when the Filipino community knows your kids, and you're also educating your kids at an early age about community involvement. That's the same way as your parents has involved you. That's why
It is funny when the kids come around. I mean, my kids even, it's their perception of politics or community involvement or engagement or issues. My daughter will have answers to homelessness, and answers to, why do we have to have dirty water? Like everybody, these kids, they're so cute with their stories. But those are the stories when you're listening, our children are listening. They're
Yes.
listening to everything and watching what we're doing, how we interact. And to me, like what Judge Thomas said, building that pipeline of new leaders and young leaders, it's not just, high school and college. It's also those who are young professionals to take that extra step in their career, to be engaged. And so showing a good example at all ages, I think is super important. And so I love it when my kids come up with good ideas, Ryan. I'm sure your daughter does too. And then you're like, well, it doesn't quite work like
Yeah. And
we
actually,
don't have enough money to do that, but that's a great idea.
and those ideas are so simplistic and pure. I love it. That it's actually that's actually a very, very good idea. It's just not exactly that easy,
That's funny.
I remember I have a friend, one of my campaign people on the campaign is actually a guy that has been homeless for quite a long time, and he has a place now, but he hasn't always, right? And so my son's like, why don't we just get him a home? And I'm like, I mean, we shouldn't we? What I mean? Like, why don't we just get him a home?
It's so funny. But I love the kids' reactions, and then you hear these young kids when you're going to the door and they're 18 and they're like, well, I can't, or 17, I can't vote yet. And I'm like, well, but you can still help.
You can still help.
It doesn't stop or start, when you're 18. It's actually when you're younger and you're getting engaged and you're being involved in volunteering, because time is money, right? And we don't have enough money in any political campaign. And so any contribution of just helping out, from phone banking to stuffing envelopes to, you name it, there's so many things to do on a campaign. And so it's really a blessing to have not just the kids, but all the support that we get.
It's actually a really funny story, like, real quick. When I ran in 2016, when we had the Abaca Foundation going, right, I had all these little girls who were just little girls, right? And they'd come to the campaign office, and they were just calling people. We were just trying to get people to vote. That's it. Hey, did you get your ballot? Are you going to return it? Please vote. That was it. That's all I had to do. And now I just recently went to one of their things that are all 18, 19, doing things, and then other groups that we would work with, and I think Junelle works with these people too. But so Jamila, of the Bengali community. Oh my gosh, I remember her when she was 15 and 16,
Yes,
and now she's like a major
Yeah.
contributor to
Yes.
like local politics and stuff. And same
Yes.
thing with Jacob Martinez, who was just a little guy, and then now he like ran for school board. He's like on all kinds of boards. He's becoming a lawyer. It's amazing that those actions, these people became something.
That's
We didn't
right.
know that, you know.
Yeah.
And just like your children, when I met them, Javier, maybe you can play this video. This is not.
Why is Ryan Winkle should be the mayor of Mesa?
I love it.
Because he's a great dad, and he's a great mayor. He can do the stuff.
Yeah.
He can do work.
He can do work.
And he loves kids.
He
At
can do
the
work.
end, and she said,
Yeah.
"This is not even rehearsed. I just zoomed the camera, especially for Camilita." I was surprised. He just spoke.
Yeah.
That your inspiration, your leadership, you're running for this office, is not going to just be here. It will continue to inspire many young generations, many young people among our Filipino
true.
community. And we thank you for this opportunity to join us. And there are people who are actually watching us even from Chicago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Chicago Hispanic Community for Peace has mentioned that Mamita Yumul, Jenny Sarceda, Hernandez, and the Chicago Hispanic Community for Peace are watching with us. And
Muchísimas gracias, mucho gusto.
yes, mucho gusto, muchas gracias.
Gusto, sí.
See, since we are in a Spanish radio studio
Sí, claro.
station,
Dos personas en Arizona son hablando español.
sí.
Yes.
And we are grateful that our Mr. Ramiro
Oh, thank you. I'm
Russell
just
joined
honored to be
us.
here. I'm
This-
just grateful to be here.
Yes, this is amazing that
Thank you.
all of you young leaders of Arizona are here and getting involved. And that is what we want for our community. Representative Junelle Cavero, do you have any final word to tell our young people?
Oh, wow. I honestly don't ever give up. I mean, if there is something I ever have to mention, no matter what it is in life, whatever the challenge is, be it, in school, at a job, or even if you get pushed down, sometimes you get 2 steps forward and you get 1 step back. You keep going forward and you don't look back. Just keep going, and and keep trying, and somehow it all works out. It's never perfect, but it works out.
Thank
Nice,
you.
thank you.
Ryan, do you have any word before our final?
I will just
Community
piggyback
events.
on that. And anytime somebody tells you no, it's not that it's a no. It's just that you got to do it different, right?
There you go.
I had a friend who wanted to be on a board, and he's like, "I'm only 16. You have to be 18." I said, "Go back and ask them if you can be a non-voting student member." He said, "Okay." So he went back and did. He's like, "They created a non-voting student member for me," and I'm like, "See, it's not a no. It's
There
just
you
a
go.
different way."
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you said that, because I always say that no doesn't mean N-O, it means K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
That's
You just
right.
don't know enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I apologize that we have to cut the conversation because we have to promote our community events.
Yes.
And tomorrow, Bina Morales is going to cool down Arizona because she has the most mesmerizing voice together with Miss Maribeth
Maribeth.
Pasqua and Cassie Ragindin. Tomorrow, join us at 6 o'clock at Arizona Theater, Broadway Theater, and the Fantabulous Passion Fest on June 29th, and the Panogs induction of officers
Nice.
is also on June 29th at San Marcos. That's the Fantabulous Passion Fest, and the Fanogs induction of officers. This is the Filipino American Nurses Organizations of Grand Canyon State. You better be there
Yes.
because these are amazing organization.
They come to every event.
Yes,
They do.
every
They're
event
amazing.
they volunteer. And the next one is the Miss Teen Arizona Gala on July 27th. This is a big event. Don't miss it. And
Megan, she was an
yes,
Abaca.
and yes, Marcelito Pomoy is coming on
Marcelito.
on August 25th at Casino, Arizona. And next one, save the date for Laughter in Tandem on September 7th.
Nice.
So join us for this amazing event. And thank you again for joining us today's episode. It is from our family here at BUHAY-BUHAY SA AMERIKA at Entre Mujeres Radio. We really appreciate you. Please like, support by sharing this message and subscribe to BUHAY-BUHAY SA AMERIKA and Entre Mujeres Radio. Maraming salamat po and God bless you all. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Ryan,
thank you, thank
and
you.
Representative Junelle Cavero for joining us, and Ramiro for joining me
Absolutely.
on this show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Until we meet again.
This was Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika. Join us again next time at entremujeresradio.net. Hanggang sa muli, mabuhay!